Williams veers left, pulls up, looking for the lead, and got it. Jalen Williams, 2 seconds, 1:11.109. Now SGA probing, piercing, spinning, hanging for the lead, and SGA knocks it down. The Thunder finally get the defensive stop, and SGA puts them in front.
I'm Kenrich Williams. You're listening to Topic Thunder.
And welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Topic Thunder podcast. I'm your host, here at Thunder Chat. We're part of the Do-Lead Network. This podcast is brought to you by BetOnline.ag. Now that's out of the way. Kenrich Williams told you who we are. You know why we're here. We're here to talk about some Thunder basketball. I'm here with my co-host today. First of all, we got Alex Roig in the middle, looking like he's in the Bat Cave. Not the Bat Cave. Yeah, the Bat Cave, not the Batmobile. Sorry.
Wayne Manor.
God, I got my Batman locations confused. He's in Wayne Manor today. He's rocking the headphones. He has not chewed on some helium to make his voice high-pitched, but he is here. Alex, how you doing, sir?
I gotta love those technical and / audio difficulties whenever you're first trying something new. So, but we're good now, right?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay,
man.
cool.
Imagine we just didn't tell you this whole time.
Here's the thing. Like Dylan is right here looking at a parlay. Like he's not even,
Yeah, he's not paying attention right now.
Yeah,
I'm checking
Yeah,
out.
he's checked out.
He's not returning now.
The host is checked out. Watch
It's
out, man.
just me and Alex until this parlay hits. So
Yeah.
just you're gonna have to deal with it till
Money.
then.
No,
Degenerate gamblers.
That's right.
That's the hard truth of sports betting is, player injuries happen and Laurie is not returning, so it is now dead. Yeah.
What happened to Laurie?
Cash out option?
Don't know. No, never got one.
Damn.
Yeah, crazy. But anyways,
I mean, hey, Taylor Hendricks yesterday and Laurie Marketing today. Woo!
That injury was tough, dude.
Cooper Flag.
Do not like watching
Learn
that.
your Mormon.
oh god.
There's a lot of Cooper Flag contenders right now. Did you guys see the freaking Toronto Denver game the other day? How they blew that whole lead? I was so mad about that.
Yeah.
It's not related to Thunder, so we don't have to talk about it. But they blew that game. Denver should not have won.
Well, hey, we
Denver.
need Denver to win, so it looks better for us.
No, they're so ass right now. Nuggets are mega ass.
Like they went into overtime against the Nets today.
They should have lost that too. They gave up 40 points to the Nets in the first quarter, dude. It was so bad.
They needed a 22-point game from Russell Westbrook tonight.
He's saving them. He's saving their franchise. Shout out Brody.
The king of the prairie. But as you could also tell, the producer extraordinary, Matt Tierney, is also here. Tierney, how are you doing, sir, for the fine folks at home?
I'm good. Technology issues have been really annoying. We switched to streaming service. We're trying to stream to Twitter, so you're not watching right there right now. And so I've been dealing with all that. But Thunder 3-0. I went to basketballreference.com, their MVP tracker the other day, and number 1 for MVP was Shai, and number 2 was Chet, which was very awesome. That's probably not going to be how it is at the end, but took a little screenshot of that. That was awesome. We're just feeling good. These are the days where you get to just overreact and say you're 82-0 and everyone's going to win all the awards because we're feeling real good. Also, the only team in the West that's undefeated still, so there's that too.
Yeah.
Yep. Only undefeated team in the West. Vibes are high. We've got a huge game coming up tomorrow. We're going to talk about that later in the podcast, but we've got to talk about the 2 games that happened since we podcast. As we kind of talked about before the pod, the last game we played was 2 days ago now. By the time you're listening to this, it'll be on the 3rd day since the game has happened. So we're going to do things a little differently. We're not going to do the single large item like we normally would, like just breaking down the game completely. And we're gonna pivot. We're gonna take a note from the legend Pat McAfee himself. We're gonna do a segment called "I Don't Want to Overreact," but we are gonna overreact with some segment here. So to kick this off, to get this started, I'm going to, since I'm the host, I get to pick who I get to throw under the bus. Tierney hates it when I do, so I'm gonna give it to Alex.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let's see.
So you
I
got
don't
you got
wanna
Sparks over.
overreact.
Yes. Very good.
Bro. Context clues. I know how this
I'm
works,
just
man.
making sure. I'm just making
He's a
sure.
professional, Dylan.
Goodness gracious. So I don't want to overreact, but I think the Thunder are one of those teams. And what I mean by that is it's one of those teams like we talked about last year where like, oh yeah, they're playing with their food a little bit and blah. No. This year, they're really one of those teams that can literally play with their food, not for 3 quarters, let's say 3 quarters and a half, and then all of a sudden just let out this blitzkrieg that completely decimates a team, and they win by 20 in a game that entering the fourth quarter they were up only by 3, and so it was a close game. It would be a clutch game if there was 5 minutes left in the game, that type of game, and somehow, some way, they kind of play with their food for about half a quarter there, and then all of a sudden, the defense ramps up, the offense starts hitting shots, the transition buckets happen, and it's over. Like in the blink of an eye, that game was completely done, to the point where there was no way that Dylan Jones and Adam Flagler and Alex Reese were going to make it into the game, and the homie Dukas, and they did, with about a minute left. It wasn't like 2 seconds left. Like they went in with a good minute and a half left. And so, we always remember the Warriors team. Like you would watch the Warriors and you would watch them, kind of struggle with like a middle of the road team. Like usually that middle of the road team has that one player that's going off for whatever reason. And then all of a sudden, like in the third quarter, fourth quarter, they would just completely shut the door on them. And it wouldn't even be a game anymore. And I'm kind of seeing that with this team. And that's scary because we haven't even played a good offensive game yet.
No.
Not even a great one. I'm not even gonna say, we haven't even played we haven't even played a good one. Like we've been very inefficient. It hasn't been very pretty out there for the most part. And we're still, winning by a point margin of like 19.3.
It's close to 20, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, and it is scary, and it is scary to have to hold back the hyperbole on this team, because in the first 3 games you're just seeing them completely dominate teams in different ways and dominate teams without even dominating themselves, like offensively. And so, yeah, man, it is kind of scary to kind of think about where this team can go. And the thing is, hopefully they're just at the beginning of their run.
Yeah.
Like this is the beginning of that runway for this team.
Yeah, I think it needs to be emphasized even more, like how inefficient they've been shooting, because I checked, I think yesterday, and they were 29th in 3-point shooting. They were like bottom 5 in I think field goal percentage, or maybe bottom 10. They're like really not shooting well at all. But then you look on the other end, like you said, with the defense, they're number 1 in stocks. Their like defensive rating is almost in the 80s. It's crazy low. It's like 90 point something. By far and away the best. I know it's 3 games, so it's, you can't really hang your hat on that, but it's still very impressive. And if you look at these 2 games in sort of a summary of what you saw with the Bulls were honestly not. There was a lot of unforced errors with that team. They just would like throw away the ball, and so you get some turnovers there. And other times they were just being lazy, and they were making like passes that were not in a place where it was basically like passes that could have easily been intercepted, and they were. And that defense is a defense that you cannot make any mistakes on. You cannot make any sort of errors, because if you do, they will always 100% of the time put that back on you on the other end, because there's no weaknesses in that defense. I don't want to like keep going back to like Giddey and like the differences there, but that was the weakness of the defense last year. You got rid of that. Everybody else that slid in is now contributing significantly positive ways on defense. And so you have that Bulls game, and then you have the Hawks game more recently where, yeah, we kind of played with our food a little bit. let them in the game a lot. But then like Casey Wallace in particular on Trae Young has been lauded a lot for what he did in that game. And I think it's deserving because he completely shut them down. That kind of carried over to a lot of other things. And, they blew him out after that. So the defensive statistics are pretty incredible. Dylan put up his tweet from the other day. So Dylan, you can talk about it. But yeah, like the defensive stats are like historic.
They're
right
jarring.
Now. Jarring.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's only 3 games, so like we've got a caveat it, but we're overreacting. We're not qualifying anything here. So right now our defensive rating is first in the league at 90.8. Defensive field goal percentage is first at 36.7. That is opponent's field goal percentage. Opponent's 3-point percentage is at 26.2. That's actually second in the league. I'll have to go back and look at who was number 1 on that. Steals were second in the league at 12.3 per game. That's actually behind the Warriors. But first. For blocks, we are first with 10 a game. And then opponents' turnovers, we are first with 20.7 turnovers per game, which is nutty. I think it was the Bulls that we had 26 turnovers, and that definitely helped pad the numbers a little bit. But it's it's the defense is as advertised, and we don't even have Isaiah Hartenstein yet.
I do think it's worth mentioning, and it was mentioned in the chat about have we played a good team yet? And I think that is, definitely a question you can ask, and it does lend itself to, we talked about the Nuggets at the beginning, how they're not great. Bulls, are not very good. Hawks looked okay, but now they're kind of maybe not that great. And I think the best offense we've seen of those 3 was the Hawks. Denver might get it together at some point in the playoffs, so I think they're still the better team. But, the Hawks were not like a bad team. I don't think they're listed in that bad category. So I do think this last game where we sort of played with our food a little bit and still ended up blowing them out by 20, I think that is worthwhile to mention because I consider the Hawks a team that isn't going to be like in the mix playoff wise, but definitely a team that has some pretty solid offense. And I think, you look at the way that, especially in the fourth quarter, they performed, like I said, with Casey Wallace and others, that does hold some credence. But it is something to be said. Like we could look back in, a month or so, the Nuggets might be like 500 on the season. The Bulls are probably going to be really bad. Maybe the Hawks dip a little bit more than we expect, and we'll look back and be like, yeah, these teams weren't great. But right now, as it stands, I think we've had some pretty decent competition, at least on the offensive end. So
yeah, so I want to kind of push back on that. Like the people we've played have been plucky, I guess, and that's not that's not great, but at the beginning of the season, it seems like Atlanta has been able to kind of jump out the gates a little bit quicker than most teams. Mm-hmm. Chicago seems like they've been able to jump out the gate, better than most teams. And then the Nuggets have been kind of lagging behind. Come 15 games from now, that could be completely switched, but we can only play who we have in front of us. Mm-hmm. And, we haven't played any of the greats, but guess what? They haven't played us either.
Yeah.
And so
I do want to also add with the Bulls, I made a note of this. We held them to like something like I think it was like under 30% from 3. The next game, I think they had a back-to-back. They almost set a franchise record for 3s. So like they have that scoring ability, and so I think those 2 games back-to-back kind of show you the differences of what this team is capable of defensively.
Yeah, it also like with the Bulls, they are a team that just had a 20-point comeback against the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies are one of the other teams that has really been shining in the West so far. 3 games into the season, but they've been very impressive. Jaw coming back, Jaren Jackson making his return. They've looked like a good team. Zach Edey, of course, Shaquille O'Neal, as Cone would say. They've been one of like the stories of the Western Conference at this point. But the Bulls were able to come back 20 points down, and the Bulls lost by 20 or more to the Thunder. There was never a hope of them like sparking any type of comeback. It's like you said, against the Hawks. Like once we flipped the switch, like you said we could play with our food and still like put the killer instinct on. It's like having your cake and eat it too. Like the saying goes, like you can't have your cake and eat it too, but we kind of can. like we can just kind of go through the motions and then flip the switch. Now I don't want to get in a habit of that. Like I think that there's some dangers of that, and I think that we could see losses happen because of that. But I also understand that it's really cool that we are able to do that in spurts at least. Yeah. But yeah, this team has been a lot of fun so far. But let's move on to the next overreaction. Tierney, I want to hear what yours is.
I had one before I started talking about the defense because I was so hyped about it. Now I'm trying to remember. I
can go if you need a second.
Yeah, you can go. I need to remember what it was. I had something and I lost it. Go ahead.
All right. Well, let me just pull these stats up here once again to qualify my point. All right. I don't want to overreact, but I don't think it's Chet Holmgren that's going to be the first Thunder to get a 5x5 game. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be that dude.
He was close.
Last year he was close against the Charlotte Hornets. I think he was like 2 blocks away and like a steal. He's come close twice already. We've played 3 games, and he's been within 5 stocks and 4 stocks in both games. Now, granted, it's hard to get 4 stocks and 5 stocks, period, let alone, the stocks before that to get to that point. But, man, he's stuffing the stat sheet like crazy. We know what he is as a scorer. He's a guy that can get 31 in his sleep. And, with this new three-point shooting that he has where he's, like, very comfortable with it, very aggressive with it, very smooth with it, I think his scoring, as I predicted in the offseason, I think his scoring could even take a jump up. But the assist, another thing that, we kind of, tapped into before the season started, with Josh Giddey being gone, somebody has to take those those on-ball handling reps. What just happened? Okay, sorry. My computer just went black. I was very confused. Those on-ball reps, and, we kind of thought about it being spread around between Case and Jalen Williams, but Shai was going to be a guy that got a lot of those reps, and we're seeing that. Like, he's getting high assist games. Still don't understand how he only had 2 assists to get Chicago. I really think Shai was trolling half that game. I think he was just trying stuff. He was just goofing off. He was just having a good time. But when he's, like, locked in, he's getting 8 and 9 assists. I think that I don't think he's going to be like an 8 assist player. I think he'll be around like low 7s, at the end of the year average. But still, that's that part of the game. Rebounding. One of the biggest things that impressed me about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander so far this season is yesterday we played a very weird lineup, a very small lineup of AJ Mitchell. Not yesterday, sorry, Sunday. AJ Mitchell, Lou Dort, I believe, Kasem Wallace, Isaiah Joe, and Shai. And I was like, at first I was like, why is AJ Mitchell playing in the fourth quarter when we're like trying to put this game away? Second, I was like, where's the big man? And Shai, to his credit, was just bodying rebounds. I think he got like 3 or 4 in that stretch where he was like kind of like the
de facto power forward.
Yes, that's the word, the de facto. I could not think of that term. The de facto big man on the floor. I mean, he was kind of like the tallest guy on the team. But yeah, like him rising up and just getting those boards. Like there was one where he like high pointed the ball and ripped it down, like, smacked it as he brought it down. Like I used to play basketball with a guy. He would say, anytime you get a rebound, grab it with one hand and smack it. So everybody in the gym knows you got that rebound.
Mellow. I got it. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Get that out of here. So yeah, that's what I saw out of Shai in the rebound department. And then the stocks. Stocks is always the thing that jams people up in the 5x5. Shai's got it, man. Like second place in steals last year. Probably could have got the lead if he didn't get hurt. But of course, Chet's taken a different level in terms of his rim protection. This defense has, taken a different level in terms of like, just their historic nature. Like we just read the stats off. And I think that those things lend to Shai being more aggressive, being willing to gamble a little bit more with the steals and also with the blocks. You know, Shai doesn't have to be a help side rim protector as much, but his blocks he's getting are kind of on ball. Like Trae Young blew by Shai, and Shai recovered with his length and sent that crap right back. And I just think that's the next evolution of his game. You know, obviously the 3-point shooting, but the on-ball defense. And, you know, we've kind of seen him we saw signs of it in the Olympics of him like really locking in defensively on his matchup. And even in the preseason, like, you know, we saw him like really lock in on his matchup. And we know how good of an off-ball defender he is. But if he locks in on ball defensively, I think it's just a matter of time before that 5x5 hits. Chet's the easy answer just because of like all of his tools, his size. You know, he's all over the place on the court. I think steals is always going to be the hardest part for Chet. And I think it's easier for Shai to get blocks than it is for Chet to get steals.
Yeah, Chet's steals are like rips it out of your hand before you get to the rim type of thing, which don't happen as much. But with Shai, it's kind of what you said. I think if he gets 5 blocks, like 3 or 4 of them are going to be guy gets to his side, thinks that he can kind of get to the rim and sort of like do a finger layup and doesn't realize the length of Shai, and he just swats it away because he's done that like several times already this season. And then he's going to have like 1 or 2 where he literally can just deflect it from like a 3-point shot. Like he does that too. So those just feel more accessible. So yeah, I think it's reasonable. It's just so hard to do on a given night because you have to have all the right things in place. But the Hawks does feel like one that you could easily do it just because like some of their guards, Shai can defend a lot better, and Trae, for example, is a little bit smaller size. But there's some other teams down the road, I'm sure. I'm looking at the schedule. Like Trailblazers probably could get a lot of defensive stats there. Their offensive guards are a little bit smaller. So yeah, I could see it. I could see it happening.
Yeah, he had 6 games last year. We had at least 5 steals, and then his season high in blocks was 3. So
yeah,
that seems to be his ceiling on blocks.
I think he can get more than 3 this year. I think that's his high right now too. He had 3 last game. So
he's right there, man.
He's right there. He's right there. All right, I have an overreaction. I'm ready.
All right, you got to preface it correctly.
I don't mean to overreact, but given the fact that this shooting slump will eventually go back to its average, water always finds a way. Keeping that in mind, keeping in mind that we're also going to be getting back J-Will at some point in the near future, those 2 things, I think, lend the opportunity for the Thunder to win a game by 50 or more points. I think that is on the table by the NBA Cup time in December. So I'm putting a hard deadline on it. And I looked at the schedule. There's a couple teams that I think we could do this on. I already mentioned the Trailblazers. We play them
Which
twice.
We did last year.
We were very close. Oh, yeah, we did hit 50 for that one, yeah, but we were close to the record, 62. I'm going to save the 62 record breaker for after Hartenstein comes back. So we'll do it then. But
man, you know what? We could get a team down by 61 with like 5 minutes to play, and Dagnall will find some way. Yeah, for him to be like, that's our record. That's our record.
He'll put in like the deepest of deep bench lineups at that point, just like Reese and Duke, like all those guys, people from the OKC Blue.
Memphis, that would be nice, especially since Memphis is a pretty good team.
Yeah, but I mean, we got the Trailblazers twice. We have the Spurs coming up tomorrow, and I think we have them once more. We have who else was in here? We have the Raptors right before that. They stink out loud. So yeah, let it happen against Memphis. I don't think we probably have to have played them. Or I guess we don't play them before December. That's kind of
revenge
schedule thing. So yeah, we're gonna save the 62 record break for Memphis. I genuinely think that once we have this full lineup with Hartenstein and then considering all the offensive things that are going to regress or progress back to the mean, we could blow some teams out, some really bad teams.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Isn't the margin of victory like 70 something?
Wasn't it 62?
Nah.
No, that's how much we won by against the Trailblazers last year.
Yeah, it was like 70 something.
Check. Oh, this is an NBA playoff game. What's the biggest point margin in NBA?
Was it 72?
Something like
73.
73. Gotcha.
We can do it. We can do it. There's some bad teams in the East, guys, and we're a really good team.
Mark said that's our record.
That's a goal of mine. Obviously, still beat the good teams, but the bad teams, let's
destroy them.
Let's destroy them. I mean, with the defense, it travels. It's like it can happen. I believe.
I got another one. I don't want to overreact.
As do I. Go ahead.
Oh, whoa!
I don't want to overreact, but Usman Dieng might be a guy.
Oh, Dylan.
That's an overreaction.
Tell Dylan that's an overreaction. Let's cool our horses.
No,
he was good. He was good.
This is the thing about Usman Dieng. I was skeptical about him getting any playing time in this iteration of the Thunder. I understand that the reason that he got thrust into this is because of the injuries that are ahead of him. But that being said, I think that he has done extremely admirable in his minutes on the floor. Game 1, I think that he realistically, like we talked about, Tierney, I think he changed the momentum of that game. Like we was struggling, like we was like wound up super tight. We couldn't get nothing to fall. Usman Dieng checks in. Yeah, knocks down 2 corner threes. It was just like a release valve. Like all of a sudden, like we can excel. And then we started playing more free. We started playing more loose, and we started, really dominating. The next couple games against the Bulls, he started out really good. I think he hit another 3. He had a couple of drives to the basket, strong drives to the basket. And I think he even had a block in that game. Now, after that got out of hand, and, we had the bench guys in for garbage time, it was just kind of started chucking a little bit, and that made his shots look a little bit worse. But game 3 against the Hawks, thought he played super well. Got the block there in the second quarter, I think it was. I think he also knocked down 3, got to the rim a couple times. Like, he's playing within himself. Like, and Mark Daigneault's talked about it. Lou Dort's talked about it. He's doing something he's not comfortable with. He's doing he's being asked to do something that is completely out of his comfort zone. Like, he basically played point guard for the New Zealand Breakers, and he's been a wing for the Oklahoma City Blue, and now he's being asked to be the backup big for Chet Holmgren, one of the best big men in the league. Like, it's not a role he's comfortable in, but I think he's done admirably. I think defensively, he's been in the right spots. He's contesting shots. He's not fouling, and he's not getting cooked. Offensively, he's knocking down shots, or if he's not knocking them down, he's at least taking them confidently. Blocked Jalen Smith. Thank you, T. I couldn't remember what player it was. He's taking them confidently, and a couple of drives to the rim. He's gone in not comfortably. He's gone in confidently, and he's gone in strong with a little bit of aggression. I haven't seen him yell or anything like that. I think that would be a huge step up if we see Usman Dieng dunk it and then yell. I think everybody would be excited about it. But I've been very impressed out of what I've seen from Usman Dieng, because I didn't think, A, he was going to get playing time, and B, I talked about it whenever the injury happened. I did not want to see Usman Dieng a backup 5 because it has not looked good in the past, but it's looked good in my opinion.
Dare I say Poku fully realized? I mean, because that's no. Hold on. I know. Dylan basically cursed right there.
I said, don't besmirch the name of Usman.
No. But third-year Poku, before he got injured, was a good player for us. You cannot even front on that. Before he got injured, before he nearly broke his leg, he was doing what he needed to do on the inside. He was a release valve sometime. He was able to handle the ball from time to time from the 5 or the 4 position. He was kind of what we needed. Dieng is playing a lot similar, very similarly to that. And again, you say that it is outside his comfort zone. I honestly think that this is, with this team, this is what he's built for on this team. Like, yeah, he had to play point guard for the New Zealand Breakers. Yes, he had to play wing for the Blue. But I think on this team, he is a ball handling 5, ball handling 4 that can go ahead and do things on the inside a little bit, maybe even against backups, not necessarily against Jokic or Embiid or anything like that. But, be able to be on the inside, use his length, get a couple blocks, and then go out there and space the floor, because that is the way our offense is tailored. And if he's able to step out there in the corner and hit, X amount percentage of threes, he's going to be very useful for us. And I mean, he's just in his 3rd season. So, hey, sky's the limit for what we can do with him as far as him being a role player.
Yeah. I checked the last 2 games. So he did hit those 2 threes against Denver, and that was huge. He was 0 of 4 from deep against Chicago, and then 1 of 3 in Atlanta.
Yeah, he started chucking against Chicago.
He did, yeah. So a lot of those, he was probably like 0 of 1, 0 of 2 before garbage time.
I mean, those are literally the shooting splits of everybody on this team.
That's true, yeah. So it's hard to make heads or tails of that. But I think the reason I bring that up is I think in order for him to really be so regardless of the threes, whether they fall or not, I think it is worth mentioning that his defense has been very good. It's been surprisingly good, I guess is a better way to say it, because we had very low expectations, and he's done a good job against these bench 5s. I think Mark is probably going to do what he's going to keep doing for the last couple of games, especially with like superstar 5s like Jokic and now Wemby on Wednesday, is he's probably going to match Chet's minutes with Wemby or whoever. And then Dieng will fill in some of those extra minutes at the 5. And I think if that's the case, yeah, he can be successful defensively. But I still would like to see a little bit more from the offense. And that is where Hartenstein's absence really is just tough to watch, because there's points where his confidence, especially in like dribble handoffs, like pick and rolls, he's not as confident in them, not as really capable of doing them. And having that sort of dynamic not there when Chet is off the floor does kind of stink. But he can space the floor. If that's the case, we can have a situation where if he's knocking down threes, he is a valuable member on both ends. But I think, like all of the Thunder players, we do need to see some uptick in that efficiency.
Yeah, fair.
All right, so I don't want to overreact.
Oh, boy.
But the Thunder will finish with the best record in the league. That's not my overreaction.
Okay, I was going to say.
That's common knowledge.
Yeah.
That's written down.
They will have 2 guys on the All-NBA first team.
First team.
Okay.
And neither of them is going to win the MVP.
Because they're both on the first team.
Why? Because they're going to cancel each other out.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that happening. Yeah, I could see that happening with Chet and with SGA, where, like, here's the thing. Like, I don't think Chet stops. Like, this is Chet's game. Like, Chet's been progressing to this. Like, when we saw him in high school, when we saw him in Gonzaga, when we saw him, like, in that first season as a rookie last year, like, we knew that this guy could be a chameleon on offense. He could go inside, he could shoot from outside, and then defensively he was going to be completely scary. Like, we knew once he realized, once he got a little bit more knowledge about the angles of the game, once he got a little bit more feel for the speed of the game, that his defense was going to rise up another level. And so what we're seeing now is basically on par with what I think the team expected of him and what we should expect. And it's something like this, if this continues, where he's scoring 24 points a game, 4 blocks, leads the league in rebounds. I don't think that stays, but if he even keeps it at 10, double figures and rebounds, and plays as efficiently, leads, anchors the best defense in the league, I think that he could be throwing his name into the MVP race also, and that could kind of mess up Shai's possibility of doing it.
I had to do a quick Google search, and I typed in, "Has there been co-MVPs in the NBA?" And there is not. So
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
there's been co-rookie of the years, but not co-MVPs.
Yeah. So that was my only angle there to maybe spin this in a positive way. But yeah, I think I agree. The gesture's so good. I do see the angle, the media angle being like, who is the actual MVP? And that kind of stinks. But it's like a good thing, I guess,
It's a nice problem to
It
have
stinks.
if it happens.
It's a nice
it
problem
stinks.
to
Yeah,
have.
it's like what do I do with $30 million?
Two
in my
MVPs
hand?
on the same team. What do we do?
Yeah.
It's like, dang, we got 2 guys on the first team All-NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the first time that's happened here in Oklahoma City. So
Yeah, that's true. I mean, KD won it with Westbrook here when he was kind of at his peak, I guess. Yeah,
He was second team.
What year was that? 2013?
15, wasn't
15.
I don't know. Who cares? It's Kevin
Russ?
Durant. No, Russ was 2016.
Russ was 17.
2016, 2017 season.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess that is a precedent. Like, we had 2 superstars. I guess you could debate whether Russ was a superstar at that point when KD won it, but I don't know. We'll keep a tab on this and see how the media is feeling.
Yes. I have one more quick note just to say before we move on. I have a new nickname I will be pushing throughout the rest of the season. I actually didn't come up with this. This is a shout out to my guy Nick at Never Been Equal on Twitter. He came up with this, but it's great, and I'm gonna be pushing it. Casey Wallace, the Cookie Monster.
I like that. I was actually thinking the other day, like, we have the torture chamber. I like the Cookie Monster. I'm already thinking about t-shirt ideas.
He was ripping the cookies out of the ice tray, brother.
Every time he gets a steal, like on the arena PA, cookie.
Yes.
C is for cookie.
Can you imagine if we're at the event in March and Kaysen gets a steal and all of us in the crowd just go, no.
I mean, we sit with Jerry. Like, that would be the most tamest thing ever.
It would be so funny, dude. I think that's a good content thing right there.
I'm with it. Push it with me, Tierney. Push it.
I did want us to have a nickname for him though. I was thinking about that the other day because we have like the torture chamber. So we need one for Kaysen. We need one for Caruso too. So I like the Cookie Monster. We'll have to think about something for for Caruso too.
Yeah, we'll figure out a better one than just AC or the Bald Mamba. But anyways, we're going to look ahead to the week. We're going to play a quick game right after word from our sponsors. And we're back after word from our sponsors. We did not overreact, and we did overreact at the same time. I guess you'll have to find out. Well, you probably did if you're listening to this. But we're going to look ahead because this is a fun week ahead for the Thunder. Caruso. Yeah, that's a name that everybody.
Cash Chamber.
I don't know if we can run with that.
So Cash Chamber for our Jewish listeners probably would not be good.
I don't think we can run with that one. I think we're gonna have to table that.
Yeah, Caruso is a good one, but I would like to come up with an organic one, like one that
something here that we developed,
like Santa. Santa's pristine.
No one did Santa but you.
Brother, in December, Santa is happening again, and we got the stamp. We got the stamp from Doug.
We did.
So I got it multiple times, actually. So, take that and deal with it. So, real quick, Alex has to go here in the next 20 minutes. So, we're going to go ahead and jump to our game just so Tierney has somebody to play against in this game.
Wow, been lonely.
So, as we mentioned, the Thunder lead the NBA in stocks right now. For those of you who don't know, stocks is steals and blocks, not the stock market or anything like that. Or it is the stock market, but not the one in New York. But what I have for you guys is the top 10 players in stocks. I want to see.
The stock market's coming back I think we're
very
gonna get some
nice.
new merch,
Yeah.
updated merch, but that's the old one. We're
Yeah,
in talks right now.
Absolutely. Be on the lookout for some merch.
Mhm.
But top 10 players in stocks, going back and forth until one of you guys get 3 strikes and you're out. I want to see if you guys can name the top 10 players in stocks.
In the NBA?
No, in the MLB.
Ha ha!
I thought you. I didn't know you meant the
Asshole.
Thunder, dude.
You
such a
asshole.
dick.
Yeah, NBA league wide.
God.
So,
So who goes first?
well, I made you go first for the overreaction, so we're going to Tierney first.
I'm gonna go Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
That is correct. He is tied for 5th right now with 15.
I actually would have thought he'd be
Really?
higher than that.
Wow.
He hasn't played in 2 days.
I'll take
is
the
this
other
total
fruit.
stocks. Total stocks. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was.
Yeah.
per
So
game.
some people have played 4 games.
Yeah. Okay.
So I will go with the other fruit that is very low. I will go with Chet Holmgren.
All right. Now we are on level playing ground. Let's see if you guys can get the other 8 that aren't on our team.
Okay. Stocks. Okay.
I don't know if he gets a lot of steals. I'm gonna go Derek Lively.
Derek Lively is not on the list.
I did. Yeah, he gets a lot of blocks. He just doesn't get steals. I don't think.
He's not in the top 16. So that's an X for Tierney.
Dang.
Going back to Alex.
Suck at these games. Dude.
Let's go with the other defensive demon. Let's go with Giannis and future Thunder player.
He's not a
Giannis
future Thunder
Antetokounmpo.
player. Stop peddling this.
Shockingly, Giannis Antetokounmpo is not in the top 16.
Oh, I thought that was for sure
he is
one. I was
selling.
so
Okay,
dumb. I
screw
didn't
that.
think of him.
It's an X.
Hey, you
It's
idiot,
an X.
Alex. to be honest.
Definitely doesn't have Thunder DNA.
Strike
he's outta
each.
here.
Go ahead, Tierney. Redemption.
Oh man. Everyone I'm thinking of is on the Thunder. Because there's like lots of steals we've had.
I will say there's not another Thunder player in the top 16. I will give you that.
Okay.
Yeah, because nobody else really does.
We're going top 16?
No, top
10.
10. I just have 16
Okay.
on my page.
Okay, let's think here. I mean, Gobert. I guess if we're thinking in blocks, maybe get a couple steals.
Rudy Gobert is not in the top 16.
All right, I have one more.
What?
Then I'm out.
Yep. 2 strikes for Tierney. Going
Have
back
one
to
more.
Alex.
So
We look like
So
we
the,
may look like
the
idiots
Lakers,
after this.
the Lakers started off pretty good. So I'm gonna go
Oh
AD.
yes,
Anthony Davis is tied for second with Chet
he's been
Holmgren.
playing so
16.
well. How did I not think of him?
All right, Tierney.
Okay.
This is it. If you don't get one, you're out.
Okay, I had one, but now I'm overthinking it. I think.
Now the pressure's on. Elimination guess.
Oh my god, I gotta get one more than a Thunder player. Okay. I can't think of anyone else. I'm drawing blank, so I'll go Wimby.
Victor Wembanyama also not in the top 16.
Dude,
What?
this is crazy.
Can we talk about he was ass last game?
He wasn't very good. I had his points over.
I mean, was it 14, 20 rebounds? He got 20 rebounds.
He got a lot of
blocks.
rebounds.
Like it's not a Wemby. It's not what we'd expect of Wemby in his second year.
Yeah,
that
he was
type
pretty.
of
He was
thing.
pretty meh offensively for sure.
He actually struggles scoring against Şengün statistically. It's kind of weird.
It does.
Which
It
is
does.
yeah, Şengün is not a. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
But I mean, Şengün bodies him, and he
Yeah.
had to deal with Steven Adams also.
That's
Yeah.
true, Mr. Adams.
Shut up, Steve. Alex, do you have anybody else you want to name? Just
Dude, who else could it even
figure out?
be? It's gotta be steals. I guess.
Eldris Adebayo.
Bam Adebayo is not on here. It's Idris, by the
Wow.
way.
Idris.
It's got to just be a bunch of guys with steals because those were all my blocks.
So number 1 is Brooke Lopez with 17.
Shut up.
What?
It's the Rom
Who
Milwaukee
the hell's gonna
Bucks.
say Brooke Lopez, dude?
Number 2, Evan Mobley with 16. Tied
Okay,
with Chet
that one.
Holmgren and Anthony
That one
Davis.
makes sense. Yeah.
Number 5, we just saw him played admirable defense on our star player. Dyson Daniels, 15.
Dyson Daniels.
He was good. Okay. That makes sense.
Jeremy Grant, Thunder Legend, 14. Miles Turner with 12. Kevin Durant with 11.
KD's been playing so well too. I forgot about him. Damn.
He's tied with like 7 players with 11. The most shocking ones, KCP and CJ McCollum. And then crazy. At 16, you could guess literally for the next week and not guess this player. It's Jordan Poole with 10.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, he's putting in effort. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah. So there you go.
I mean, I guess, you know, with scoring, somebody has to do the scoring on a bad team. I guess somebody has to play the defense on a bad team too. So
I mean, he doesn't have to. So that's credit to him.
Hey,
they would probably like it if he didn't.
Yeah,
that's true.
Maybe he's just trying to get his trade value up.
Maybe. All right. Well, hey, that game was fun. Congratulations, Alex, on your win.
It's a crazy list.
Do better.
Dude, that list is crazy. That list is so crazy.
Very crazy.
I mean,
well, it's like, did you see that? Did you see that?
I should have got Mobley or Kevin.
Did you see that list that Dominic Chavez on our chat? That he sent out, and it was like the best defenders at shooting percentages or whatever, something like that. And it was like 5 Thunder players and like a couple other good defenders in the league, and Buddy Hield.
Oh yeah, I saw something similar.
The hell?
Well, I did see somebody like kind of put context to that. The way that stat is taken is not like just like player tracking, like when that person's guarding him, how well are they shooting? It's how well is that player shooting when this player is on the floor. So like Chet could be on the floor, he's not doing anything against Trae Young, and Lou Dort shuts him down, and Chet gets that like field goal percentage against Trae Young or whatever.
Feels like weird.
It is weird.
I have someone on or Sleeper Hoops tweeted at us this stat. I'm gonna see if I can find the exact names because they didn't mention them. But apparently, I need to check this. If you look at defensive ratings by player, the top 6, 5 of the 6 are Thunder players, and number 4 is Steph Curry. So that was
yeah, I saw that.
So I'm going to see if I can find it real quick and see if we can name the 5 Thunder players it is, and we get no strikes because it's Thunder players.
I just gotta say, like, we're in 2024, man. Like, can we stop paying attention to individual defensive rating?
We're going to, for the sake of this game, because it's fun and we're dominating for some reason. Well, there's not for a good reason.
For some reason,
I don't know if I can find it. I'm just trying to look through the defensive thing here. If I can't in the next like 20 seconds, we're gonna abandon this because it's not really worth it.
I just want to play Jeopardy music.
Here we go. I found it. I just need to filter by minutes. I guess they didn't say what the threshold of minutes was. Let's do 50 minutes. No, that's not enough.
Boom, boom. That's basically what I was doing.
Okay.
Your 20 seconds is up, Tierney.
1. Okay, I got it, I think. Hold on. Okay, so I guess it changed. All right. I got it. Okay.
Very loud.
So this is updated today. The minutes per game threshold is set at 25 per game. Maybe we'll do 20 instead. No, let's do 25. That makes it more interesting. Okay, so kind of a useless stat, but we're going to do this trivia anyway. Defensive rating by player. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the top 6 are Thunder players. I'll also see if you can guess the 2 non-Thunder players as well. But let's start with the Thunder. Well, it is not Steph Curry anymore, unfortunately. Let's start with the Thunder players. If you can list the 4 Thunder players without any misses between the 2 of you. Chet is 1.
Shai.
SGA.
Shai is one of them as well. He's number 2. Chet is 4.
Jason Wallace.
Casey Wallace is at number 1.
Wow.
The last one
Caruso.
is not Caruso. He did not meet
Dort.
his Dort. I think Caruso didn't meet the minutes threshold. He would have been up there
Yeah.
too. Can you guess the other 2 that are at numbers
Aaron Wiggins.
3 and 5? There's no other Thunder players. It was just those 4.
Fair.
2 non-Thunder players. Can you name them? You have 10 seconds.
Evan
Anthony
Mobley.
Davis.
No. It is Royce O'Neal and Donovan Mitchell.
This is
There's
why
your
we don't pay
useless
attention
stat.
to individual defensive
There's your
rankings.
useless stat of the day. Royce O'Neal, Depoy, right there.
Lovely. All right. Well, I think we're done with our mini games here. Let's close out our podcast looking ahead at the week. So tomorrow we have a bout against the San Antonio Spurs, our supposed rivals. It's a Chet Wemby matchup as always. Everybody's hyping that up. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard on ESPN primetime. It's gonna be an absolute blast.
This is a Thunder podcast. It's 8:30 Central.
Yeah,
Listen, when you see it on the TV, I don't care where you're at. It says 9:30 Eastern Standard Time.
It says 9:30, 8:30 Central. That's how I read it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair. And then Friday we play the Portland Trailblazers. I think at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
At 9
Central,
something.
Dylan. Let's get
9 something.
think about our main audience.
Hey, we've got some people out of the country.
We should, whenever we do game times, let's make sure we also include Australian time.
Yeah.
So
Japan.
Get all those in.
And then, we play on Saturday, but we'll talk about that. We'll podcast
Friday.
Friday and Saturday. So we're talking about Spurs and we're talking about Trailblazers. So the Spurs game will be at home. The Trailblazers will be in Portland. That's the start of a road trip. Fellas, what is your record prediction for these next 2 games?
I mean,
I don't want to overreact, but
I don't want to overreact.
But that Portland game just kind of smells like that 50-point victory. It just kind of it feels like it. It just kind of smells like it. I mean, they do got defensive demon Jeremy Grant over there, but yeah, it just feels like that. And like the San Antonio game, I think you're gonna have your matchup. You're gonna have your who is it on ESPN or Oh, so they're gonna be they're gonna be glazing the shit out of Wemby. Oh my gosh, they're gonna be like, oh my god, did you see him walk? Did you see him breathe?
Yep.
The way he. So I still think we win that game. I think there may be it could be closer. Like 20-point victory, but
it's pretty close. Yeah, I would say about that. Yeah, I think both of them are handed victories. I legitimately think. I mean, the Spurs last game against the Rockets, like Wemby did not look good. A lot of those guys did not. Like Jeremy Sohan did not look good at all. He was really bad. So I think if you get that same Spurs team, this is an easy win. And 20-point margin is definitely on the table.
And I mean, everybody's talking about the Wemby Chet matchup. I'm looking for the matchup of the rookie guards, AJ Mitchell versus Stephon Castle.
That's the matchup we should be talking about. But yeah, I mean, the guard matchups is pretty I think we're going to swallow them up. I don't think they really have an offensive guard that can handle what we've got on that end too. So yeah, but then the Portland game, I think that's even a larger victory. I haven't really watched any of the Portland games this year because they're all so late. But Scoot, I guess, has not been super great this year, or not progressing, and they're not a very good team overall. So
capture the flag, baby, capture the flag.
They're capture the flag. So I think 20-point plus victories on both.
Yeah, it feels like Portland doesn't know what they are because they have Scoot Henderson and Donovan Clingan, both 2 very high picks in the last 2 drafts, and they're bringing them off the bench. What are you playing for?
And Clingan has looked pretty good.
Hey, that should be PTSD for you. Seeing Reed Shepherd coming off the bench and seeing
Reed's getting 9 minutes a game. It's crazy.
No, he's talking about
Kentucky.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's still one of the most questionable decisions. Like, I understand it at some point, but like, especially like down the stretch, like you got to play your guys, dude.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's besides the point. Yeah, I'm going 2-0 as well. I look forward to the Spurs game. Obviously, like I think this has a real chance to not fully shift the narrative to Chet, because like let's be honest, like everybody's going to be on Wemby like until he retires, because he has the highest ceiling of any player that has ever played. Like if everything hits for him, he could be the greatest player ever played. But Chet has a lot of that same skill set, and he is showing out this year. And I think that if on national television against Victor Wembanyama, he goes out there and he puts up a performance like he has the last few games, like a 25, 14 rebounds with like 3 or 4 blocks, a few assists, knocks down a couple threes, like on national television against Victor Wembanyama, like the narrative is going to start to shift a little bit of like, wait, why aren't we talking about Chet a little bit? Like we're talking about Wemby. Like, you know, he's actually he's a rookie just like Wemby, but you know, he's a little bit older. Like, oh, he had that year of experience. Like maybe we should start talking about Chet in those conversations. So I'm looking forward to that narrative shift. And you know, you used to talk about the guard. I thought you was going to talk about the reunion of Chris Paul versus Shai, the mentor mentee, the Lou Dort. Like throw Chris Paul in the torture chamber real quick. Throw the Cookie Monster at him. You know, kind of see what happens with that. Yes. We need a sound drop for that. I'm sorry. We've got to get a sound drop for that.
C is for Kaysen. It's good enough for me.
And then, of course, you know, the Portland Trailblazers game. I expect that one to be a bloodbath. But
yeah,
it is the start of our road trip. Presumably, we might be 4-0 at that point. Hopefully, the guys aren't feeling themselves too much. And, you know, that has the makings of a trap game. If not that one, I think the Clippers game, the next game, has the makings of a trap game. But hopefully the guys understand the ramifications of that, and you know they don't let that happen. But we'll talk about that on Friday. So
unfortunately, the Clippers have been pretty good this year.
They've
been solid.
Yeah,
they've been solid.
So you guys know my friend Alex. He came to OKC with me last year. He's been a Clippers fan. Not this Alex, another Alex. Yeah,
another Alex.
He's been a Clippers fan since like before Blake Griffin got drafted. Obviously before Chris Paul was there. I don't know why he chose that fandom, but that's where he was.
Why did he choose that journey?
But well, he was very young whenever he chose the Clipper fan. But to his credit, like, you know, he stuck to that loyalty. I was talking to him today. I was like, yeah, like you guys have been like overachieving, but the question I have is just when's the other shoe gonna drop? Like, when's the shoe gonna drop on James Harden? Like, Norm Powell's not gonna be this efficient for the whole season, and I'm just waiting for that shoe to drop because they're playing good right now. And I think like historically, like over the past couple of years, the Clippers have played really good at the beginning of the season until they don't. So I'm just waiting for that to happen. I'm not overreacting to it. Capture the flag is still a go with that Clippers pick. So we're going to get to our next segment, which we brought back last week. I'm very excited about. I'm actually kind of bitter about under the circumstance, but money, please.
Title pending.
No, we got to bring it back. Alex, you got to go.
Alex has to go. Bye, Alex.
Do you have a prop that you want to throw out real quick?
Here, let me throw at you the
give
line.
Give me one.
I'm going to give you the line. It's plus 13 for the Spurs. So you could pick Thunder to cover, or the over-under on the game is 220 points. Either one of those stick out to you?
I will take what is it? I will take the points. I will take the over. I don't know what to say.
You can either say Thunder cover
the
13-point spread, or you could say the total points in the game is over 220 or under 220.
Let's go over 220.
Okay. Over 220. So this time it's Alex, not me, if the over doesn't hit.
Shout out. Take it easy, Alex.
All right.
Thunder up.
See Alex. Thunder up.
Absolutely.
All right. What a way to end.
I love it.
All right. We'll zoom out a little bit. So those are the only ones that are on the Bet Online website, but I had some player props I was going to throw at you too, see what piques your interest. We've got Chet for a double-double. It's plus 179.
That's still plus. That's crazy.
It's very nice odds. We have Shai over 1.5 threes, which kind of sticks out to me. It's plus 142.
That's it every game, hasn't it?
I think so. I'd have to double check
so.
and look at a second. Dub, maybe his over on points at 18.5, plus 169. We have Dort's threes over 1.5 threes at plus 174. There's a couple so we really only have the big three and Dort right now to go with, but we could pick some other.
We could do alts if we want to.
Alts as well. I have the alts for a couple things like Chet's rebounds. We have some alts. You can do 8, 10, 12 for those. Shai's threes, you could do 3 threes if you wanted to.
Yeah.
4. So a couple alts if you're thinking of anything in there.
I think I'm gonna go with Shai to score. I don't want to quite go to 30 yet. I think he's not been
30,
passive, but
30 is actually only plus 188.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 25 for now.
25, okay, that's plus 133.
Yeah, I think that Shai's 25 is a good bet. And if I'm gonna throw another one out there, I'm gonna take Dub's points as well. What'd you say it was 18.5?
18.5 right now.
Yeah,
we can do the alts if we want to. There's 15 or 20 or 25.
I just do 18.5 because I think he's hit it the past 2 games. He obviously came
out
slow against game 1. But I mean, I expect him to score 20. I just feel more like if the line's that close to 20, why not take just the lower line?
Right.
So yeah, I'll take Dub's points on that and Shai's 25 points.
Yeah, Shai has hit. I think he's hit 25 every game too. That game 2, I think he might have had 24, but
yeah, he did. He did. It ruined a lot of people's parlays, including mine.
It's tough. Okay, I'll add one more so we can have 4, maybe 5. I think 13-point spread for the Thunder is pretty spot on. I mean, I know we said they'll probably win by 20, but you never know. Like that could easily get in garbage time. That 20-point lead could go down to 12 pretty quick. So I don't know if I want to take that. I'm gonna go with, since you didn't take a Chet bet, I'll go with Chet. And I think that his rebounding is still, even with Wemby in this, I think he's still going to be doing pretty well on the boards. I'm probably going to go with over 9.5 rebounds. I think he's going to definitely get 8. They can get 10. So I'm going to go Chet over 9.5 boards.
Okay.
And then we'll build that out and post it out on our Twitter. So I think 4-leg parlay. Alex had over 220 on the game. You got Dub over 8.5 points and 25 plus points for Shai. And then I've got Chet over 9.5 boards.
Can we make it a 5-leg and just call Thunder money line? Because we all picked the win.
Yeah. Thunder money line's probably I don't even know what those odds are.
Yeah, it probably messed up the line.
It'll be like the exact same odds, like a slight boost, if anything.
Yeah. We'll take a slight boost.
We'll add it in. We want that to happen anyway.
Yes, absolutely. We can get technical. We can do an alt spread if we want to, but no, it's fine. We'll rock with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I think that covers everything.
One of these days, not today, but there's options on some of these sites where you can predict the exact margin of victory.
Yeah.
That'd be a crazy one. Throw that out there.
Yeah, that hits. That'd be nice. Quick parlay update for me.
I thought it already lost.
I did, but I wanted to
another one.
I just wanted to explain it.
Okay.
Just as I talked through it, 15-leg, I hit 10 of them in the Nuggets versus Nets game. Cam Thomas saved me going into overtime and knocking down 2 points right off the bat. I felt really good about my standing in the Kings Jazz game at halftime, and Sabonis hit his rebounds, hit his points. DeRozan hit his points. Lauri Markkanen went out at halftime and ruined the whole parlay. And I'm just very sad right now because that would have been a game changer.
Have you ever considered, instead of doing a 15-leg parlay, just split it into 3 5-leg parlays? You would have so much more. The fact that you're even hitting 10 in a row is crazy.
The issue is like I've seen people do that, but they like wager more, and I'm like wagering a small amount and like trying to build it out. Like I felt really good about like, you know, the ones I was picking. I didn't feel like any of them were out of the realm of possibility, but yeah. I did have a no sweat tonight though, so I got $5 coming back on that.
Nice.
Shout out no sweat. Always play no sweats if you have a chance.
Always. We had one final question from the chat. He asked who's guarding Wemby even if we have Hart on the floor. I still think it's Chet.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
I think Chet's gonna match up minutes wise with Wemby no matter what if he's healthy.
Yeah.
If it's not Chet, then it's probably Dub. I don't even know. I don't think Hart would guard him.
I think Dub tried to guard him last year, just because. Well, I think when we played him last year, Wemby wasn't the 5. They were still trying to do that whole like Wemby the 4 experiment. But now he's like fully the 5. They've kind of like bought into you know what the Thunder have with Chet. But yeah, I think Chet guards him. And if Hart's on the floor, then you know he's the rim protector. I think that Chet's the guy that like mans up with him. You know, he's got the length. He can go stride for stride with him. And, you know, if he happens to get by Chet Holmgren, there's few guys in the league I'd like to have back there to be a big body and be a rim deterrent other than Isaiah Hartenstein. So I feel really good about the matchup when we're healthy, but I still feel fine about it going into tomorrow.
Yeah. Matt Hartley guarding Chet. Who's guarding Chet?
I guess that Wemby guy's going to try to guard him.
I guess.
I've heard
he's okay.
Yeah.
I do think, we already talked about it, but I do think at some point that, like, if Chet keeps doing what he's doing, I don't understand how Wemby is still, like, the odds-on favorite for Depoy. Like, eventually that's got to come down.
Nah, especially if they're, like, talking play-in and we're talking, like, historic defense. Yeah. That's the anchor.
It's just, like, it's so crazy to me that they started the season at minus like 160 or whatever it was for his odds. I've never seen that in the few years I've looked at odds where someone before the season even starts, they're like odds on favorite. You're losing money if you bet on them to win that award. And I don't know. So Sohan is gonna guard Chet. Yeah, they'll
good luck.
They'll be fun. I'll be okay with that. It'll be cool.
I'm fine with it.
I'm cool with Zach Collins. Let's throw him out there. Who knows?
Go ahead. Try it.
Throw them all out there. I would gladly welcome.
Put Harrison Barnes on him. Why not?
Old Harrison Barnes. Love him to death. He's an old man. Yeah, we're gonna kill him.
I don't know about kill him. I think it'll be a good game. I think that it will genuinely be a good game.
I'm pretty confident. CP3 on Chet. Why not?
Hey, low key, like CP3 bothers big guys because you know he's got that low center of gravity and he'll get into him. He used to bother KD a lot whenever he would guard him. But yeah, that concludes the pod. You know, as we said, we got 2 games coming up this week. We feel pretty good about the chances. Feel great about this team. This team is so much fun to watch. Like, you know, we talked about how good they are, but we did very little talking about just how fun they are to watch. And it's been a blast so far. And like, we're just now kicking off. And you have a chance to actually watch this Thunder team live and in person on March 21st against the upstart Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte Hornets have been one of my favorite teams to watch this year. LaMelo Ball is absolutely killing it, looking like a potential All-NBA player if he can stay healthy. Trey Mann, of course, OKC's begotten son, Spider-Man himself, has been killing it off the bench, knocking down threes, evoking young Iverson out there. And then, you know, hopefully Brandon Miller will be healthy at that point. But, yeah, man, it's going to be an absolute blast. You get to see the game. We've got 3 different pricing options for lower level, club level, upper level. only group ticket sales that have 3 different ticket or seating selections. But yeah, you get to see the game. Game's gonna be a lot of fun, even if it's a blowout. Like, it's gonna be so much fun to see that. We watched the Blazers lose by 62 points last year, and we had an absolute blast. So yeah, you want to be there for that. Go down to the court, take a group photo. After that, take a half-court shot on the Thunder court, which is cool in and of itself. But if you hit that, you get a basketball signed by the entire Oklahoma City Thunder roster for this season. So you don't want to miss out on that. The link is in our Twitter at OKC Type of Thunder. Give us a follow while you're there. Tierney had a tweet go kind of blow up viral a little bit on Sunday. So shout out Tierney. Doing a great job once again on the OKC Type of Thunder Twitter. Follow us while you're there. Sign up for those tickets. Get your tickets now, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they will sell out. I've talked to a number of people. They've already got their tickets, so you don't want to miss out on this. It's going to be awesome. So with that being said, hope everybody has a great night. God bless. Hoop when you can. And as always, Thunder